Hello and welcome. You're listening to the Evolvepreneur Secret Show for entrepreneurs, and I'm your host, Brian Silverthorne. My mission is always to help entrepreneurs make a difference and navigate the sometimes messy worlds of startup, growth, or relaunch. And today we're going to dig deep with our guest and get you the best concepts and strategies to fast track your business. And today, our special guest is Martha Lewis. And Martha is a certified sleep expert, functional health coach, and creator of the Complete Sleep Solution. So welcome to the show, Martha.
Thanks for having me, Brian.
Happy to have you very much. So you got a bio that's more extensive than one I used to introduce you. So why don't you start by giving us a little bit about your background and tell us how you got to where you are today?
Yes, well, I got into becoming passionate about sleep because of my own sleep struggles. And this started 6 years ago when I had a baby who wasn't a good sleeper. I actually ended up becoming a pediatric sleep consultant to help with
Hmm.
his sleep. And then the ironic thing is that even when he was sleeping through the night, I wasn't sleeping. And my insomnia started in late pregnancy, which I figured was just hormones, but it didn't go away really for 2 years until I finally realized that I had some underlying health issues, some imbalances in my body that were literally keeping me awake at night. And so once I was able to address those things, then I started sleeping great again, just like I used to. So I'm really passionate about helping other people who can't sleep because I know it's miserable and frustrating to not be able to sleep and to just be tired most days.
Yeah, I understand that. Fortunately, I've been blessed that I can just close my eyes and I'm done. But I know people, including my wife, sometimes who has trouble getting back to sleep or sleeping well. So I know it's a valuable service. Did you have to obtain any certifications, or did you just pick things up on the go, or how did that work?
Yeah, so the first step I did was I did a certification for more about the habits and things around sleep, and then I that worked for me for a while, and then I went through another stressful time in my life and my sleep deteriorated again, and all of those things didn't work. And so luckily I learned about functional lab testing, and so I did a certification called functional diagnostic nutrition that taught me the labs to run, how to interpret them, how to, give recommendations for supplements and really holistic lifestyle habits to pretty much restore your health so that you can sleep normally.
Oh, okay. So there's more to it than just reading a couple of books. That's
Exactly.
interesting. Yeah. So
Yes.
so you've been doing this how long again? My apologies.
Yeah, about 3 years.
Okay. Okay. So you're well into it. Well, I guess you're still considered a startup, in the first 5 years, but you're into it, so you've got some experience. So what do you like most about it at this point?
Well, I love that. I mean, mainly that I get to help people and do something that I'm really passionate about and that I love and keep learning. And of course, all the other, you know, benefits of being an entrepreneur of kind of creating my own schedule and a lot of what I focus on too is having this life balance and not just working all the time, but also taking care of myself and getting exercise and doing what I love, spending a lot of time with my family. So it just has enabled me to have that balance while also, yeah, helping others and making a difference in the world.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said to making your own schedule and working things in that are very important to you outside of work. And the work life balance, I've always thought it was more like work life integration. So they should all flow naturally one to another. But that's just me. So how do what? Well, first of all, what I assumed it's one of the descriptors for an ideal client for you is somebody that's having trouble sleeping. But are there other factors in that would create your ideal profile of an ideal client?
Yeah, it is that general trouble sleeping, and that could be trouble falling asleep or waking up in the night or not being able to go back to sleep for a long time or waking up too early in the morning and generally just not feeling rested when you wake up. So I have worked with people of all ages from age, for adults from age 25 to I have an 82-year-old client now. Um, but most of my clients, I would say too, they've tried a lot of different things, right? So they've done a lot of research. They know, not to watch screens before bed and not to drink too much caffeine and all the kind of basics that you read about everywhere. Some of them have even done like cognitive behavioral therapy for sleep. And so all those things just aren't working. And so to me, if you're doing all of that, if you're doing all the right things and still can't sleep, then there's something in your body that's keeping you from sleeping. So it's just a matter of finding out what that is.
Okay. Yeah. So you mentioned tests. Are those that can't be a blood draw, is it, or is it more what kind of tests do you conduct to get people to find out what's wrong with their body that may be gumming things up?
Yeah, so they're called functional medicine tests. It's not blood work. It can involve urine, stool, hair. And so it's looking at things like gut health and hormone balance and heavy metals and liver function. So lots of different ways that the body's functioning that might be out of balance.
Okay. All right. That makes perfect sense. Uh, um, so how does that ideal client find you? I notice you've got a pretty good social media presence. Is that the main way they get in touch with you, or do you have other outreach methods?
That's how I started is I have a Facebook group and really marketing on or just more organic marketing on Facebook. And then since then, I now have people find me on Google. So I, have a blog every week. And so if someone just looks up general sleep help, they're probably not going to find me because I'm competing with huge companies out there who are writing about sleep. But if they look for something like a parasite in sleep, then they find me like something really specific like that. And then I also started a podcast called The Insomnia Fix almost a year ago. And so about half my clients are finding me that way as well.
Oh, so 50% are coming from your podcast?
Yes.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So that's your best source of getting new business at this time.
It is. Yeah.
So along those lines, are you getting all the business that you want or need?
I am still growing, and at this point I'm scaling. So I did just hire a health coach to work for me and take on clients. So I'm about to dive into some paid advertising on Pinterest and see how that goes.
Okay. Yeah, it's one of the things for all businesses, big or small, but especially for like solopreneurs or whatever, it's figuring out the best and least expensive way to get people to find you so that you can offer your services and give them a hand. So, um, if I'm asking out of school here, just let me know. But how do you bill for your clients so that you're generating revenue?
Well, I send them an invoice when we first start working together, usually through Stripe, and people can pay in full or they can do a monthly payment plan. So that just, yeah, is automatically set up. Is
Oh,
that what
okay.
you're
So
asking?
it's a retainer program over X number of weeks, months, whatever it might happen to be.
Exactly. Yes. I
Okay.
work with people for 6 months.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Give it chance to get for the discovery process and the corrective process then.
Exactly.
Good. So, do you, like most of us entrepreneurs, do you set yourself any annual revenue goals? Have you got a goal you'd like to reach in the next 12 months?
Yeah. So my goal for 2022 is 250,000.
Oh, okay. That's a nice six-figure goal. So, what at the moment, if any, what would be the biggest challenge that would be preventing you from getting there, that you'd have to overcome to get there?
Well, I feel pretty good about it. I'm definitely right on track to make it. So, um, yeah, I think always the biggest challenge is kind of the mental part and staying focused on the goal and believing in the goal and not letting, a slower month or whatever kind of get me down and sabotage me. So it's really, yeah, it's really working on the mindset that is key for me.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, that's key for all of us. I think, you got to believe it. And one thing I found, and it may be similar for you, if you have a really good reason outside of making money that you're doing what you do, then that has a tendency to keep you going through the down times, which are inevitable. They're going to come regardless of what you do to keep them away. But you can make them minimal and fewer and more far in between if you work at it.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
so what do you have as a opportunity that's sitting right in front of you that would help you get to that goal easily?
I mean, I'm going for paid advertising, like I said. So that's yeah. So that's what I've decided to do next to really increase, the number of people who know what I offer and who know that I can help them.
Okay, you decided on the platforms for that, and you don't have to tell me what they are, but I mean,
Yes.
okay,
Yep.
okay, yeah, I hear different opinions of paid advertising, but I guess it's how you define your target market, where you happen to spend your dollars, what the message is when you do the advertising. So there's all those things that go into it to make it happen. So I wish you good luck with that.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
what would it mean to you and in business and to your life if you achieved your financial goal here in the next 12 months?
Well, I mean, a lot of it would mean to definitely having more money for my family and being able to do all the things that we want to do. So, a slight lifestyle change, I would say. I mean, I live in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and we like to recreate outside a lot. And I want my son to be able to pursue all of his passions and for money to not be an issue. So I think that's a big part of it for me. Um, besides getting to help others in the process and do what I love and keep learning and growing myself. So yeah, that's it for me.
Okay. Um, yeah, when you said recreate there in Jackson Hole, I'm kind of an outdoors guy, and so is my wife. So, and all our kids are gone. They're doing their own stuff out, but all of them are outdoor folks too. But, being able to do what you want to do when you want to do it is a good feeling, regardless if it's indoors or outdoors.
Right.
Yeah. Good, good. So, let's circle back to your podcast again. So you say you're getting about 50% of your clients there. So how are you promoting the podcast and what's bringing people and how do you get your guests if you have guests on your podcast?
Yeah, I actually don't have guests at this point. So right now it's just me talking about various reasons why people can't sleep.
Okay.
Um, you know, I I would say I'm not really promoting my podcast. It's just I did promote it in the beginning somewhat. And, when I launched it, I had a few episodes ready. I I did a promotion asking people to write reviews and rate it and listen and all of those things. And then ever since then, it's just kind of grown organically with people searching for sleep or searching for insomnia for a podcast, and then they find me and listen to it. So I haven't had to do much to promote it, and it's just kind of growing slowly over time.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
organic growth is great, and you get referrals from other sources. Those are always helpful. So, um, I, some people have podcasts and or video channels or whatever, and nobody listens or nobody watches. But so you gotta make sure that they are achieving the goals that you want them to achieve.
Right.
So it
Exactly.
sounds like yours is moving in the right direction, and maybe the paid advertising will enhance that as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, I asked you about challenges for your financial goal. Are there any particular things in your business right now that if you could correct them or make them better or eliminate them completely, that would make your life easier running your business, doing your business successfully?
Yeah, it's definitely that's something I've been thinking about. I have a virtual assistant right now who helps with some of the, um, posting on social media and just a lot of the busy work. Um, but I am thinking about like I still create all of the content, but at this point, I would like to have someone who can, like, based on my podcast, they write the blog, they do the social media posts instead of me spending all this time doing this. I create that one big piece of content and then that's what I'm looking for is someone to break that down and and write that all out for me instead of me spending all the time doing that.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
if you're an individual running a business, if you got to take care of content creation, marketing, all of those other things that contribute to attracting clients, but it also takes time away from uh, performing what you need to do to help the clients that actually produces results for them and also brings you the revenue. So it's kind of a sometimes a tough decision.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably spend 50% of my time with clients and the other 50% working on attracting new clients and kind of the, basic admin.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I had a friend who once told me, he said, I'd give up 40% of my income if I could get somebody that would bring me really well qualified leads or people that with a high level of interest to
Right.
take advantage of the services that I offer. So it's out there. Yeah. And I had a guest on my podcast a while back who is a content creator. I think interesting business name, Nomad something, but because she travels all over,
Right.
but can still do her stuff creating content for other people. So that was an interesting take on things.
Yeah.
So have you ever thought about writing a book? I mean, you're doing things other ways. Have you ever thought about putting it in writing?
I have. It's definitely on my list.
Okay. Good. You got to, lists are good, but if you can have I think I ought to do this list, or I'm going to do this list, or I'm
Yeah.
doing it and I got to keep going list, so
Yeah. It's
yeah.
on the eventual list for sure. I
Okay.
mean, I think what I've learned too is that I thought to make six figures, you had to be like famous and a best-selling author and all these things. And it turns out you really don't.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
You just have to be good at what you do and produce great results for the people for whom you provide your services and let them go out and brag about you and have some alternate or alternatives to where those people can point to let the people learn more about you, like your podcast and whatever else. If I don't know if you have posts on LinkedIn or you've got a blog or whatever. So yeah, I've always been a big fan of connecting and creating a good positive conversation in the community to create attraction. So
Right.
yeah, you gotta keep doing it, which you were doing. So producing good results. Okay, well we're kind of flowing easily here toward the end. Have you got any final thoughts? One question I'd like to ask uh, is there a question that I should have asked and I didn't? An answer that you want to give to an unasked question, or any final thoughts that you have for our audience?
I mean, I guess when it comes to sleep, usually what I want people to know is that you don't have to live with insomnia forever. I think people who struggle with it for years and decades and try all the things and nothing works, it's really easy to get hopeless and think that this is just how it's going to be for the rest of your life. So I just I just want people to know that you don't have to live with it. There is a reason why you can't sleep, and we can find out what that is and fix it. And so you can actually sleep well.
Okay. Yeah, sleep it's important. If you're not,
Yeah.
because there were times in my life when I was running a service business and I was up at 5 and in the office at 5:30 and work until 7 at night. And, you know, that even runs you down when you're younger. So you
Yeah.
got to make up for it somewhere. Okay. I really appreciate you taking the time and learning more about your business, and hopefully we'll see you with a great deal of success as you move on into your fourth, fifth year and beyond that, and that it brings you all the financial success you want, plus all the freedom that you want, and a bunch of people that brag about you all across Wyoming or wherever.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian.
Okay, thanks, Martha, for your time. I appreciate it.